It's hard to tear down a non-existent structure. This is unimportant.
Guaranteed to not change your life. This is the Unimportant Podcast.
What's up, world? This is the Unimportant Podcast. That is Joe Bob. My name's Anthony. Today we are talking about tearing down structures.
That was a very poignant. For those of you listening, Anthony very flamboyantly pointed. That is Joe Bob. I'm Anthony.
I had no intentions of pointing. It just happened.
It just happened.
I know pointing is impolite, but who cares?
So I have an interesting piece.
This is a personal story.
This is a personal story that's kind of relevant.
Usually we just rip articles off the internet or Wikipedia, but this is real life.
This happens in real life, and it's just the craziness of how some institutions function just blows my mind.
Okay.
So, we're talking about structural permits and licensing and
this sounds so boring.
County.
This is already a bad story.
Oh, but trust me. So, a couple years ago, my dad's into real estate. Mm-hmm. He bought a house on the Big Island of Hawaii.
Okay.
It was a really run down house in a not very populated island, so part of the island. So it wasn't expensive. His idea was, look, here's this really cheap house in this beautiful area. It's tough to get to, but it could be like a place to go with a family for a vacation just kind of have. It has been 2 years. This house is still not in living condition because of how difficult it has been to deal with the county in getting this house up to par. One of the things that he's wanted to do was to add certain components to the house.
Yeah.
When you build a house, just like this one was built, you have to, when you make additions to your house, you have to get permits from the city or the county or whoever deals with the permitting in your area, right? He's trying to get a permit to do a couple different things. The county came back to him and said, hey, you can't do this because you have to tear down the garage that is attached to the house, right? Mm-hmm. There's no garage attached to the house. But the previous owner submitted permitting to build a garage. So there has never been a garage. He submitted permitting to build a garage on this house, on the side of the house, and the county approved it. Mm-hmm. But he never had the finances or apparently inclination to build the garage. Yep. So the garage was never built. Now we go and ask for a permit to build more additions to the house, and they say, well, you can't build this because this plan interferes with the garage attached to the house. To which we responded, there's no garage here. We didn't, and also, mind you, we were unaware that the garage permitting had been filed and submitted. It's just,
you were unaware that there was a garage on your house.
There's nothing there, so why would we be aware that it exists? So the county comes back and says, hey, you can't build this because it's going to get in the way of the garage. We said, there's no garage here. We can't, this is obviously going to work. The county then says, well, we have permitting that proves there's a garage.
Well, I'm standing where the garage is supposed to be.
As we were standing there looking at the non-garage, we said, I'm not lying to you.
I promise there's no garage.
I promise there's no garage here, and it doesn't look like there ever was a garage here. So the county, not trusting us or our pictures, sends
a garage expert out to determine whether there's a
guy to look at the garage. The guy comes to the garage. He looks at it, sees that
I don't think he came to the garage.
He comes to the house, sees that there's no garage. He goes back to the county, and then months later, because that's how long it takes the county to do anything, the county reports back to us saying, you illegally tore down the garage. So now they're requiring a permit to retroactively tear down the garage that was never built in the first place. So what we have to do now, now the process is that we've hired a contractor to come and give us a quote on tearing down the garage in order to submit to the county. In order to submit to the county saying, here is the quote, and we'd like to tear down this garage. Now, mind you, how much do you think a contractor would generally charge to tear down a non-existent garage?
I'd do it for $50. I'd do it for $1.
Yeah. Okay. So the problem is when you submit an unrealistic bid to the county, they don't believe it. So we submitted a bid saying this contractor is going to charge us $200 to tear down this garage. And the county comes back and says, we don't think this contractor is charging enough to do a good job tearing down the garage. So now, where it stands right now, we have got a quote from a contractor / demolition worker in Hawaii, which we don't live there, by the way. So it's been extremely difficult to put all these pieces together to charge us almost $8,000 to tear down a non-existent garage. Now, obviously, we're gonna get that money back from him to get a permit to tear down a non-existent garage because the city thinks that a garage was once there. That's the way the world works, apparently, and this is important.
We do this podcast so that somebody else can change the world. If you want to hear more, go ahead and hit subscribe.